people going crazy in Duval County right now? I mean, Urban's in the fold, Tony. It actually happened. What do you think?
Yeah, like Christmas. Yeah, Christmas came like 3 weeks late for the Jaguar fans. I mean, I think, this is you guys know this is an organization over the last decade that has been, not very good outside of 2017. And, Shad Khan's gone through a couple head coaches and GM and everything else, and they've never gotten it right and haven't had the consistency that obviously anyone's looking for. And it's not like he has not invested and tried to figure it out. And I think he said, hey, I'm gonna make a splash. I'm going to go big, and I'm going to swing for the fences and get a guy that is a proven winner. And although he has not done it in the pros, and we know the history of college coaches going to the pros, but I think it's a good bet. I mean, you guys know his resume, and everywhere Urban Meyer's been, he's won. So there's a lot of excitement right now, and you couple that with having the first overall pick and assuming it's going to be Trevor Lawrence. Jags fans have a lot to look forward to.
So, Tony, what are your concerns about what you just mentioned? Because obviously there have been college coaches that succeed in the pros. Last year alone, even though they did not come close to making the playoffs, I think everyone could say that Matt Rule does have a handle on what it's like to be an NFL head coach. But Pete Carroll, as we all know, might wind up in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, even though he was a professional football coach before he was a college coach. Urban's never really had much time in the pros at all. What are your concerns on that front?
Yeah. Well, I think that's the big difference, Rich, is, we've seen guys who started in the NFL, went to college, and then came back, and they've had that success. I think what you're looking at is guys who've never been in the NFL, and all of a sudden, they come up to, the next level, the next stage. And so there's always that concern, but if we're honest with each other, aren't you concerned about every new head coach that comes into the NFL? I mean, there's no guarantees. I mean, that's why we see the turnover every year of coaches, and this year was 7 coaches losing their jobs. So I think you have to, just make the best, I don't want to say educated guess, but you have to look at all the different factors that go into it and try to find the right fit. And I think, when it comes to Urban Meyer, it's about his resume and everything else we talked about. And when you look at concerns, you would say, how does a college coach who has been able to recruit and get anyone he wants and dealing with younger men, 18 to 22, how does he now transition to, guys who are in their 30s, have families? I mean, it's a job. But Urban, he's a natural leader. I think he's been doing a lot of research, talking to a lot of people over the last year or so to learn about the NFL. And I think he'll be prepared because he's also not the typical coach who comes up and is a defensive expert or an offensive expert, and that's why you're hiring him. You hire Urban Meyer because you're looking for the best leader, and that's what he's done in college, and I think that's what he'll bring to the Jaguars. And the big risk, I believe, 2 big risks.
Yes, sir.
One is, what does the staff look like? He's got to get that right. The right offense coordinator and defense coordinator, because he's not a play caller. And so first and foremost, let's see who he hires there. And then secondly, who is he paired with as a GM? The press conference today they had, Shad Khan, the owner, and him said that they're talking about it, expecting announcements next week or so who that individual is. Obviously, Urban will have a lot of say in it, but you got to get the right GM next to him because your player procurement is critical, as everyone knows in the NFL.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.